The budget e-dirt bike market is an absolute minefield. Right now, influencers are getting paid to push $1,500 knockoffs that literally catch fire, while shady manufacturers disappear overnight, leaving buyers stranded with zero warranty. But hidden among these scams are a few incredible machines that actually outperform bikes twice their price. This is the breakdown of the top 8 budget e-dirt bikes that can actually be trusted. By the end of this video, it will be perfectly clear exactly which bike fits a specific riding style and which disasters to avoid. Let's get started. Number 8. The Apollo RFN Electric Dirt Bike. Starting our list at 8 is the Apollo RFN, and right off the bat, this bike teaches you an important lesson about the budget electric dirt bike market. Sometimes, the prettiest bike in the showroom is hiding some serious problems under that shiny paint job. The Apollo RFN hits the market at around $3,000, which puts it right in that sweet spot where it's not the cheapest option but still accessible for most riders looking to get into electric dirt biking. The bike features a sleek color scheme that honestly looks more expensive than it is. The frame geometry is solid, borrowing heavily from traditional dirt bike design, and at first glance, you'd think Apollo nailed it. The motor is where things get interesting. Apollo claims this bike puts out 5,000 watts of peak power, which should be plenty for trail riding and moderate hill climbing. In my testing, that power claim actually seems pretty accurate. The bike pulls strong from a standstill and maintains decent torque even when you're climbing steep inclines through loose dirt and gravel. But here's where the Apollo starts showing its budget bike roots. The battery is the weak link in this entire package. Apollo specs this bike with a 74-volt lithium battery pack, which sounds reasonable on paper. In the real world, you're looking at maybe 20 to 25 miles of range if you're riding conservatively on flat terrain. Start hitting hills or riding aggressively, and that range drops to 15 miles or less. The real problem isn't just the limited range, it's the battery quality. After about 6 months of regular use, multiple owners have reported significant capacity loss. We're talking batteries that originally gave you 20 miles, now struggling to hit 12. For a bike that costs $3,000, that's pretty unacceptable. The suspension is another area where Apollo made some questionable choices. The front fork is a basic coil spring setup with minimal adjustability. It works fine for light trail riding, but if you're hitting any serious bumps or jumps, you'll bottom out constantly. The rear shock is similarly basic, and the whole suspension package feels like it belongs on a bike half this price. On the positive side, the brakes are actually decent. Apollo equipped the RFN with hydraulic disc brakes front and rear, and they provide good stopping power even in muddy conditions. The build quality of the frame and basic components feels solid enough for regular trail use. The real deal breaker for me is the customer service situation. Apollo's US support is basically non-existent. When you have issues, and you will have issues, you're mostly on your own. Parts availability is spotty, and don't expect any help troubleshooting problems. The Apollo RFN isn't a terrible bike, but at $3,000, you can do much better. It makes our list at number 8 because it represents a lot of what's wrong with this market segment, but also shows that even budget bikes can get some things right. Number 7. The Segway Dirt e-bike X160. Now we're getting into some interesting territory with the Segway X160. Yes, that Segway, the company that used to make those dorky two-wheeled scooters mall cops rode around on. They've pivoted hard into electric mobility, and their dirt bike offering is actually pretty impressive for the money. The X160 comes in right around $2,000, making it one of the most affordable options on our list. What's wild is that despite the low price, Segway actually delivers legitimate dirt bike performance in several key areas. The motor setup is where the X160 really shines. Instead of going with a single large motor, Segway uses a more sophisticated system with better power delivery. The bike puts out about 3,000 watts of peak power, which doesn't sound like much compared to some of the inflated numbers other manufacturers throw around, but the power delivery is incredibly smooth and predictable. What I love about riding the X160 is how linear the power comes on. When you twist the throttle, there's no sudden surge that'll throw you off the back of the bike, but there's also no dead spots where you're waiting for power to kick in. It feels natural, which is something you definitely can't say about most budget electric dirt bikes. The battery situation is probably the biggest surprise with this bike. Segway uses a 48-volt, 18-amp-hour battery pack, which should theoretically give you less range than bikes with bigger batteries. In practice, I consistently got better range with the X160 than I did with bikes spec'd with larger battery packs. The efficiency of the motor and controller setup really makes a difference. On mixed terrain, riding at moderate speeds, I could easily get 25 to 30 miles out of a charge. Even when I was riding aggressively on hilly terrain, I never got less than 20 miles. For a $2,000 bike, that's outstanding range performance. The suspension is basic but functional. The front fork is a simple spring setup with no adjustment, but it's properly valved for the bike's weight and intended use. The rear shock is similarly basic, but again, it works well within the bike's limitations. You're not going to be hitting massive jumps on the X160, but for trail riding and moderate terrain, the suspension does its job. Where the X160 really separates itself from the competition is build quality and reliability. This bike feels solid in a way that most budget electric dirt bikes simply don't. The welds are clean, the electrical connections are properly waterproofed, and everything just feels like it was designed by people who actually understand motorcycles. The brakes are adequate but not spectacular. You get mechanical disc brakes front and rear, which provide reasonable stopping power but lack the feel and modulation of hydraulic systems. For a bike in this price range, mechanical brakes are totally acceptable. The biggest downside to the X160 is power. While the smooth delivery is great, there simply isn't enough peak power for serious hill climbing or aggressive riding. If you're a heavier rider or you want to tackle steep technical terrain, you're going to find this bike lacking. The other limitation is suspension travel. The X160 works great for trail riding and moderate terrain, but it doesn't have the suspension travel needed for any serious off-road riding. If you're planning to hit jumps or really rough terrain, this isn't the bike for you. But for riders looking for their first electric dirt bike, or anyone who prioritizes reliability and efficiency over raw power, the Segway X160 is an excellent choice. At $2,000, it offers legitimate dirt bike performance with the reliability you'd expect from a major manufacturer. Number 6. The Coleman EVB200 Electric Dirt Bike. The Coleman EVB200 creates serious arguments in online forums. On paper, it looks like it should be terrible. Made by a company associated with camping gear, sold at big box retailers, and costing only $1,300. But here's what nobody wants to admit: it is actually a pretty decent electric dirt bike for the price. Powered by a 2,000-watt motor, it is not a high-performance machine. However, Coleman paired this motor with appropriate gearing and a well-designed controller. The power comes on smoothly and predictably, making it an excellent, unintimidating entry-level choice for new riders. The 60-volt lithium battery pack is relatively small, consistently delivering about 15 to 18 miles of range during real-world testing. While it won't win any range contests, it is totally reasonable for a $1,300 bike. The build quality is a genuine surprise. It is clearly a budget bike, but the welds are solid, the electrical components are properly protected, and it holds up to regular use. Budget constraints really only show in the suspension. Featuring a basic front spring fork and a similarly basic rear shock, the underdamped package feels harsh over rough terrain but works fine for smooth trails. Additionally, the basic mechanical disc brakes are the weakest point, providing adequate stopping power but little modulation. The real strength of the EVB200 is parts availability and service support. Because it is sold through major retailers, replacement parts are easily found locally, bypassing the weeks of international shipping often required for more expensive bikes. Ultimately, the EVB200 will not satisfy serious riders seeking high performance, but it provides enough power to be genuinely fun. For anyone looking to try electric dirt biking without a huge financial commitment, this affordable entry-level machine deserves serious consideration. Number 5. The Razor MX650 Electric Motocross Bike. The Razor MX650 represents the evolution of what started as essentially a toy into a legitimate transportation option. At around $600, it is by far the cheapest bike on the list, immediately raising questions about whether it belongs. However, extended testing confirms it offers legitimate value for the right rider. The 650-watt motor sits at the bottom of the power spectrum, but Razor successfully matches it to the bike's capabilities. Power comes on smoothly, providing adequate acceleration for light trail riding. However, the MX650 struggles significantly with hill climbing. The combination of limited power and weight will quickly frustrate heavier riders on steep inclines. The battery is a 36-volt sealed lead-acid pack old-school technology compared to modern lithium options. While heavier and offering a shorter range of just 10 to 12 miles on flat terrain, it keeps costs exceptionally low. Suspension is where budget constraints are most obvious. Featuring only a basic front spring and no rear suspension, the bike is harsh on anything but the smoothest terrain. Despite these limitations, the build quality is surprisingly solid. The robust steel frame, properly protected electrical connections, and basic but adequate dual-disc brakes feel designed to last. The MX650 makes perfect sense for specific use cases: inexpensive short commutes, neighborhood exploration, or as a teenager's first bike. It is an excellent option for experimenting with electric dirt biking without a major financial commitment. While strictly limited from aggressive off-road use, this ultra-affordable machine offers a satisfying ride when expectations align with the price point. Number 4. The OSET 24.0 Racing Electric Trial Bike. Entering serious territory, the OSET 24.0 Racing represents a completely different philosophy. While most manufacturers build traditional dirt bikes, OSET focuses specifically on trials riding and technical terrain. At around $4,000, the performance and exceptional build quality justify the price premium. The motor is where the OSET truly shines. Optimized for precise control rather than peak numbers, the 1,400-watt continuous motor delivers power so smoothly that riders can modulate the throttle with incredible precision. This makes it perfect for crawling over obstacles at walking speed or accelerating up steep climbs without sudden power surges. The 48-volt lithium pack translates to exceptional efficiency, consistently delivering 25 to 30 miles on demanding technical terrain and up to 35 miles on moderate trails. The suspension is perfectly matched to its intended use. Featuring excellent small bump sensitivity, it is tuned for precision rather than comfort, ideal for rock crawling, though not suited for high-speed jumps. Build quality separates the OSET from budget competitors. With beautiful welds and military-grade electrical connections, every component prioritizes durability. The high-end hydraulic disc brakes deserve special mention, offering exceptional feel and modulation for steep descents. The main limitations are a lack of peak power for aggressive, high-speed trail riding and the higher price tag. However, the OSET 24.0 Racing makes perfect sense for riders who prioritize technical capability over raw speed. Offering genuine reliability, this bike delivers performance that rivals high-end mountain bikes and outperforms most gasoline-powered competitors in its category. Number 3. The Sur-Ron Light Bee X. The Sur-Ron Light Bee X is probably the most famous electric dirt bike in the world right now, proving that electric dirt bikes can offer legitimate performance at an accessible price point. At around $4,000, it sits at the top of the budget range, but the performance makes every penny worth it. The 6,000-watt peak power motor produces incredible torque and acceleration, outperforming most gasoline dirt bikes in the same price range. What sets the Sur-Ron apart is the refined, smooth, and progressive power delivery, making the bike incredibly easy to control in technical situations. The 60-volt, 32-amp-hour lithium pack provides exceptional range and longevity. Real-world testing consistently shows 40 to 50 miles on mixed terrain, and never less than 30 miles during aggressive, steep riding. The suspension is genuinely excellent, featuring proper damping adjustment on the front fork and a well-designed rear shock. The build quality justifies the price premium. It feels like a genuine motorcycle with a robust frame and excellent hydraulic disc brakes that provide predictable stopping power even in muddy conditions. The Sur-Ron shines in its versatility and exceptional aftermarket support, offering a huge selection of upgrade parts. The main limitations are its 120-pound weight, which affects handling when navigating obstacles, and its legality, as it is powerful enough to require proper registration for street use. For riders looking for genuine dirt bike performance in an electric package, the Sur-Ron Light Bee X is simply the best option available in this price range. Number 2. The Kalk OR electric motorcycle. The Swedish-designed Kalk OR combines cutting-edge technology with gorgeous design, creating something that's as much art as transportation. At around $7,000 on the liquidation market following their 2024 bankruptcy, it pushes budget boundaries, but the performance justifies the premium price. The 11,000-watt air-cooled motor produces incredible power and violent acceleration, outrunning most gasoline motorcycles. What's truly impressive is the sophisticated power delivery, featuring multiple ride modes that completely change the bike's character from manageable to aggressive. Kalk's innovative modular battery system includes 2 standard packs, each good for 20 miles of aggressive riding, allowing riders to swap packs to extend range or reduce weight. The build quality is in a different category entirely, featuring a lightweight aluminum alloy frame with beautiful welds. It boasts top-tier, fully adjustable Öhlins suspension and premium Brembo brakes that provide exceptional stopping power and feel. Where the Kalk really separates itself is technology integration, featuring a sophisticated full-color display, smartphone connectivity, and over-the-air software updates. It feels more like riding a Tesla than a traditional motorcycle. The main limitations are the $7,000 price tag and the sheer technical complexity, which makes basic garage servicing difficult. But for riders wanting the absolute best in electric motorcycle technology, the Kalk OR is simply unmatched, offering design and performance genuinely years ahead of the rest of the market. Number 1. The KTM Free Ride EXC electric motorcycle. Taking the top spot, the KTM Free Ride EXC represents what happens when a major manufacturer with decades of dirt bike expertise builds a serious electric motorcycle. At over $11,000, it breaks our budget rule, but offers performance and refinement that justifies every penny as the industry benchmark. The liquid-cooled motor produces 42 Newton-meters of torque and 24.5 peak horsepower. The power delivery is absolutely perfect, coming on smoothly and progressively while providing enough torque to climb any hill. The motorcycle-specific lithium-ion battery consistently delivers 30 to 40 miles of range and impressively maintains consistent performance until the very end of the charge. Suspension is where KTM's expertise really shows. Using the same WP components found on KTM's gasoline-powered dirt bikes, the fully adjustable setup is simply in a different league, soaking up big hits while maintaining perfect control. Build quality is exactly what you'd expect, featuring a precision-welded steel frame and premium Brembo brakes with exceptional feel. Where the KTM separates itself is the complete package. It's a genuinely integrated motorcycle with perfect ergonomics, ideal weight distribution, and excellent worldwide dealer support. The main limitations are the high price and the 240-pound weight, which is heavier than traditional dirt bikes. However, for riders wanting the absolute best electric dirt bike experience and willing to pay for genuine motorcycle-level quality, the KTM Free Ride EXC is simply unmatched, offering reliability and refinement comparable to the best gasoline-powered dirt bikes. These are the 8 best budget electric dirt bikes available today. While the market has evolved dramatically, the budget sector remains full of challenges, inflated claims, and zero support. But mixed with the garbage are genuine gems. The key is managing expectations and matching the machine to the intended riding style, whether that's technical terrain with an OSET or open trails with a Sur-Ron. Selecting established manufacturers with solid parts support saves thousands in future repairs. Subscribe for more breakdowns for a deep dive into the essential tools needed for electric motorcycle maintenance.